In 1972, the Atkins diet was introduced by Dr. Robert Atkins, who was a cardiologist. The diet came about when Mr. Atkins read about a diet in a medical journal, and then he took the diet and tweaked it and tried it on himself, and he lost weight, and then he started using his diet to help his patients. Note, any diet that you start, be sure to combine it with a regular exercise program. And be sure to take a multivitamin. According to Mr. Atkins, he says that there are factors that contribute to our eating habits that make us fat. The real cause why we put weight on is our indulgences of carbs, sugar, corn syrup and flour. The Atkins diet is a high-protein, high-fat, and low-carb. It encourages meat, cheese, and eggs, while avoiding foods such as bread, pasta, fruit, and sugar. It is a form of ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is where the carbohydrate intake is strictly limited but the fat and protein are unlimited amounts. When you do a low-carb type diet, you have to remember that the low level of carbs forces the body to use the body fat as a fuel source. The Atkins diet does fall into most of the accepted dietary guidelines for health, but for its main source of energy it relies on fats. The plan does cut out processed or refined carbs as well as alcohol but does allow red meat. The diet wants you to steer clear of cold-cut type meats that have added nitrates. Let's take a look at the 4 phases of the Atkins diet. Phase 1, Induction, Jump Start Phase. You are to cut your carb intake down to 20 grams per day. This is your net carb intake. Net carbs refer to the amount of carbs available in a food product. The Atkins diet prefers you don't go below 18 grams of carbs but no more than 22 grams of carbs. Interesting to note that the government guidelines for carbs are 300 grams for men and 230 grams for women. During this jump start phase, the person will lose a lot of weight, but this is to get the body to rely on fats for energy. This phase is for 2 weeks, but you can go longer if you have a lot of weight to lose or want to lose extra excessive weight. During this jump start phase, you need to follow the Atkins diet menu plan and especially the consumption of protein and rich fat foods. Phase 2, OWL. Ongoing weight loss. This phase does focus on the weight loses, but it helps you slowly introduce the net carbs back into your diet so that you don't start gaining weight. Now, the amount of carbs that Atkins diet suggests during this phase is between 25 to 45 carbs, and you do this till your weight stops going down, and then you will adjust your carb intake by taking 5 grams of carbs away from your daily intake till you start losing weight slowly. Phase 3, Pre-maintenance, fine-tuning. You will start to increase your carb intake to 10 grams per week. Weight loss should be about 1 pound per week during this phase. This phase will last about 8 to 12 weeks. Once you've maintained your weight during this phase, then you can move on to the next one. Phase 4, Lifetime maintenance. In this phase you can start to use a wider range of different carbs, but make sure your weight doesn't start to go up either. During this phase of the diet you should know what carbs you can have to avoid gaining extra weight. If your weight does increase, then you need to cut back on the amount of carbs you're taking in each day and any new carbs you have tried. Your carb intake should be about 40 to 60 grams of carbs per day. All this has to do with your age, gender and activity level to maintain your weight goal. The 4 principles of the Atkins diet are: lose weight, maintain weight loss, achieve good health, disease prevention. Low-carb diet people sometimes experience lack of energy, fatigue and dizziness, bad breath and a dry mouth, constipation and potential bowel problems from lack of fiber, nutrient deficiencies. A high intake of saturated fats could cause an increase of heart disease. Food list: all kinds of unprocessed meat of pork, lamb, beef, venison, veal, mutton and ham and poultry of goose, turkey, pheasant, emu, ostrich, chicken, etc. All kinds of unprocessed fish and fish products such as of salmon, sardines, trout, sole, herring, catfish, snapper. Eggs of quail, chicken, goose, etc. are allowed in the form of omelets, poach, fry or soft boiled. Shellfish such as of lobster, calamari, crab, oysters, shrimps, mussels, etc. are permitted. Fat-rich butter, linseed oil, seed oil, olive oil, vegetable oil, walnut oil, soya bean oil, sesame and grape seed oil and oil extracted from sunflower are allowed. Dairy products: goat, sheep and cow cheese, Roquefort cheese, cream cheese, Swiss cheese, mozzarella and cheddar are encouraged, whereas those rich in carbohydrates such as imitation cheese, diet cheese, fresh cheese are forbidden. Most spices and condiments such as garlic, pepper, dill, rosemary, oregano, sage. It also permits the dressing of salads with lemon juice, oil and vinegar. Soy sauce, mayonnaise, ketchup and cream is allowed except for yogurt. The vegetarian Atkins diet differentiates between 2 kinds of vegetables, namely salad vegetables and low-carb vegetables. The salad vegetables which it allows are cucumber, lettuce, alfalfa sprouts, olives, radicchio, escarole, radishes, fennel, celery, arugula, jicama, daikon, chicory, etc. The other type of vegetables include cabbage, onion, spinach, chard, turnips, tomato, zucchini, cauliflower, Brussels, broccoli, eggplant, rhubarb, bamboo shoots, water chestnuts, summer squash, avocado, artichokes, asparagus, etc. However, those rich in starch or carbohydrates such as potatoes, green peas, corn and white rice are forbidden. Beverages such as herbal tea, lemon juice, cream, bouillons, club soda are permitted. But coffee and tea should not contain caffeine or sugar in any form. Artificial sweeteners which act as substitutes of sugar such as sucralose, saccharin, acesulfame potassium, aspartame, etc. fall within the prescribed limits. Natural sweeteners such as maltose, fructose, dextrose as well as the consumption of honey or corn syrup should be avoided. Any diet program that you follow if effective as long as you follow their guidelines.